And once again, it's time for Real Estate 101, sponsored by the coastal team of Keller Williams Pacific Estates. Give them a call at 562-888-0404 and experience real estate. All right, today's topic on Real Estate 101, what home loan fees are negotiable when you're buying a house? And I'd like to expand it a little bit. Not only fees, but what about interest rate? What's negotiable in the interest rate side or the fee side when you're buying a house? Because I think most people just walk in and accept everything the way it is, and they look, and then they look at their real estate agent, and then they look back and they sign. But can they actually?
Who are you talking to?
Can they actually negotiate?
No way were you talking to them? It's more like it.
Can they negotiate stuff that's the fees and the interest rate? Can they get in there and say, yeah, well, if you want my business,
you know what?
I gotta get up in this business.
I recently saw a segment on the news.
What
and it was
news?
Sponsored by a company that rhymes with Willow.
Okay.
and it was
Never heard of it.
awful. It was so much misinformation because it really made it out to seem as though the consumer, or made it out to seem that lenders have so much control over the fees that they charge.
Right.
And it gave off this really bad impression to the client that they are getting screwed every left and right. Am I allowed to say that? Can I say
Yeah, you could say screwed. It's okay.
We own the radio station. You can say whatever you want.
That's right.
Blowing my
Well, now that you said that, you should have
No.
No.
There are limits because we're keeping it real.
Here's the main thing. Dodd-Frank really, and a lot of the
That's two senators, Richard Dodd and Barney Frank.
Right. That law, a lot with the fair lending laws, have really restricted lenders and a lot of people in the industry, companies in the industry, as to how negotiable their fees can be. Basically, we have to charge this one client the same fees that I would another. So that family discount's out the window. And that's where I think the better choice, the better accurate description would not be negotiating, but you do have choices in that. Just know what your options are as far as choosing your rate or how those fees are structured.
What does that mean? I have options.
So for example,
so there are fees listed on this piece of paper, and I could say, no, I don't want that one, no, I don't want that one.
No, like for example, you mentioned interest rate.
Yes.
Okay, so interest rate, you're going to have some control over. Now, granted, interest rates are going to be determined by the markets.
Right.
Okay, and the bank are going to have their sheets with all the rates listed. Now, have you heard of those no-cost loans and stuff like that?
Yes.
Essentially, what they're doing is they're just
absorbing
those costs into your interest rate. So you can think of it this way: the higher your rate, the lower your upfront cost, and vice versa. Okay, every bank has a set level of fees.
But at some point, it's the same amount of money, one way or the other. You either pay it up front or you pay it in the end.
Correct.
Well, it's been legislated that way recently, and it's called, they're doing it under the pretenses of fair lending. But I mean, they're really getting crazy about it. I mean, if we can't help consumers anymore if they need a particular situation, because back in the day, I used to give up my commission to help somebody close a loan. Yep. I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
I can't even cut my own commission.
Yeah, we used to be able to wiggle. We used to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to make any money on this deal, but it was hairy. Let's get this person into the house and let's just move on. That's just the way this thing goes. Yeah. That's the way it works. And usually fees were relative to the value, and you shop around. It's an open market. But now we have to charge every single person the same. If we have a variance of more than a quarter percent,
how does that hurt the consumer?
Oh, it kills the consumer.
No, I know. I mean, how does it hurt the consumer if you were to help them with, your commission? I don't understand.
Well, because that person may have accidentally been a white male. And if you help a white male, now you're showing prejudice, because if you didn't do that for a Hispanic or some other nationality, now all of a sudden you have prejudice policies and you're charging different fees for different ethnicities. So instead of looking at the consumer's financial situation and just trying to help the consumer out, you have to give the exact same thing to everybody, because that's the only thing that's fair.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty, so when I saw this segment, it was just a little infuriating, because it's just really inaccurate.
So if I can wrap this up,
so you're saying they deliver mortgage advice as accurately as they deliver property
Values.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mean that place that runs with Willow?
Yes.
Yeah, no, jeez, please don't get us started on that thing.
Yeah.
But it's the word negotiable is the part that seems to be deceptive in a little bit
Yes.
of ways. It's
Yeah.
not things. It's not that things are negotiable,
There are options.
but there
Options.
are options, and
Correct.
you need to weigh each one of those options. Is it like an a la carte menu where you can kind of pick here
No.
and there, or is it just
There's-
banker A? This is what you get.
Yeah,
A banker
you know what
has
it
a set.
is?
This is what you
Yes.
get.
It's a balloon. And you squeeze one end and the other end's gonna get bigger. You just squeeze the other end's gonna get bigger. You squeeze both ends in the middle. It's the same money, the same fees. You're just gonna, you have the
Just where
options
you
to
That was a
move
good
around.
visual. I hope we get that when you were describing
That's
it
radio
on the
time
video.
there.
I know.
I
It's
think
good
it's-
though. Exactly. We got some video going. That's what.
Yeah,
what
so
something-
I mean, commonly people are thinking, oh, points and all this other stuff, appraisals. Those are all set fees. Even title and escrow companies, they have set fees, and they're going to be based off of price or the value of the loan.
So in short, the consumer can control their own destiny. Let's say with money, more money's down, or buying rates down, and things like that. That's
Mhm.
pretty much the
Correct.
only
They have
way to
options.
do it
Yeah.
Correct.
now. Okay.
But I personally, even if I wanted to, could just say, okay, I'm going to waive this fee for you. I can't do that.
Wow. Well, the government's, government tightened
Yeah.
up, trying to make everything even for everybody. It's a socialist world now, just living it. All right. That was Real Estate 101. Find out more at findmywayhome.com.